So now when we open this file, NBA players, we see we have a very large file with multiple columns, and we have, in fact, 100 players listed here who are the top 100 regular season scorers in the NBA 2015-2016 season. Currently, they're ordered by their first name. So we're going to do a couple things. Because it's such a large spreadsheet, it's a little unwieldy to look at. So the first thing we're going to do is make it easier. We click into cell B2. We go to View. We go to Freeze, and then we select one row. We go to View, Freeze, and one column. What we've done is we've frozen one row at the top, one column at the left, because what that means is as we scroll left to right, for example, we can see that the players' names always still appear in that leftmost column. As we scroll up or down, we can see that the column headings still always appear in that uppermost row. So that way we can kind of keep track of what's going on. Okay, first thing, so suppose we decide we want to sort this in a different way. Let's say, so we're going to go to Data, and we're going to turn on the filter. And that's going to select all the data, and we're going to pick one of these columns, each one of which now has a little drop-down arrow here for a menu that we'll pull down. And let's say we want to see, all right, let's rank them by most three-point shots made. Okay, so we click here. We're going to say we're going to sort Z to A because we want to go from highest to lowest. So numerically, that would be like going Z to A. So now when we do that, we can see that Stephen Curry's at the top, Klay Thompson, James Harden, Damian Lillard, etc. Okay, so now it's sorted by three-point shots made. But let's say, in addition to that, we only want to look at those players who had, let's say, 300 or more assists. So again, we go to the drop-down menu, this time in the assist column. We click on it. We say we're not going to filter by values this time. We're going to filter by condition. And the condition is we want this to be, which is the assist field, to be greater than or equal to 300. So we enter that value, and we've selected greater than or equal to, and then we click OK. And now we can see we have a smaller group of players, and those players all have 300 or more assists. They're still ordered in the same way, but now we're looking at a smaller group of players who meet a particular condition. Well, now we could say, well, not only do we want to see those who have 300 or more assists, we also want to see those who have maybe 100 or more steals. So we're going to select steals. Again, we're going to filter by condition. And again, we're going to say greater than or equal to. In this case, we're going to say 100. And now we can see that we have an even smaller list, and it consists only of those players who have 500 or 300 or more assists and 100 or more steals. So we've narrowed this down quite a bit. Now we could keep going. We could say, well, let's see only those players who also have more than, let's say, 100 blocks, but that's going to leave us with just one player, Draymond Green. Okay, so when we want to undo this, we could say go back to Data, turn off filter, and now we have all of our players back again, all 101 players, or 100 players rather. Okay, now we want to create a field, a column called PPG, which is points per game. Currently, we don't have how many points per game players have scored. So here's what we're going to do. For each field goal made, player gets either 2 or 3 points, because this FGM includes not only 2-pointers, but 3-pointers. So we're going to say we want to include, we're going to start with an equal, then parenthesis, 2 times. We're going to go back and select that field. And you can see as we scroll back here and click on FGM, it added D2 to our expression. Then, because this includes both 2 and 3-point shots, we also need to add a point for each one of those shots that was actually a 3-pointer, not a 2-pointer. So we're going to have to add the value in column F. So we're going to add plus now F2. Then we also need to add each value in column H, which are free throws made, end parenthesis, and then finally we want to divide by the number of games played because we're actually looking for an average, not a total. When we do that, we now see we have for Stephen Curry 30.1, which is his points per game. We're going to take that, we're going to copy it down. And so now we have each player's points per game. We could do the same thing with, let's say, total rebounds per game, where we would want to combine both offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds and then divide by the number of games. Assists per game, steals per game, blocks per game. We could now calculate all of those averages and add them as columns in our database.